All right. Hi, guys. Mr. Dell here. We are looking at this is CC2, and it is section 3.2.4, specifically number 3-75. Okay. So we have a situation, a little bit of a word problem that describes we have in the highest point in the United States is Mount McKinley, also called Denali in Alaska. Its summit is, I'm going to write the number here because that's going to help me, 20,335 feet, and that's above sea level. And that's the mountain, okay? Mountain symbol there. Mountain. All right. And then it says Badwater, a basin located in Death Valley, is the lowest point in the United States at 280 feet below sea level. And that's our below sea level, our basin. Okay, so we got our mountain, our basin. How high is the summit of Denali above Death Valley location? So how high is the summit of Denali above the Death Valley location? Show your calculation using absolute value symbols. So what I like to look at this one kind of on a number line, but specifically on a vertical number line, right? So you have, say this is our 0, that's sea level, right? Sea level would be 0 sea level. So above sea level, way up here, it's not going to be necessary to scale, but is that 20,335 is that sea level. Above sea level is where the mountain is. That's where my mountain is. Okay. And then our valley just is underneath sea level, below sea level. So when we think of a number line, on the above 0 is positive numbers. So it's a positive 20,000. And below sea level would be a negative, in this case, 282. And that's my basin below sea level. So there's the mountain, there's the basin, negative versus a positive. So the question it says is show the calculation using absolute value symbols on the distance between, right? So why absolute value symbols? So a little reminder, absolute value are these little symbols. This means absolute value, right? Absolute. Absolute. That should be an E. Sorry. Absolute value. And absolute value, the definition of absolute value is the distance to 0. So the distance to 0. So if I can figure out the distance from here to here, and then the distance from here to here, my total distance would be the how high above this the summit is above Death Valley, right? That's what I want to find out, is that total distance. So how I would write this using absolute values is to say this equation would be the absolute value of 20,335. Oops, absolute values, straight lines up and down, plus the absolute value of negative 282. So that's really my expression that's going to give me my answer of from here to here, right? Because this absolute value is the distance from 0 to the mountain peak. And then this absolute value is the distance between 0 and the valley down here, negative 282. So that's how it's written. So really and when we talk about absolute value is the math behind absolute value is the positive value of whatever's inside. Well, that's already positive, so it stays positive. And the positive value of 282 is, of negative 282 is positive 282. And if I add those two numbers up, it equals 20,617. So my distance between the bottom of the valley or basin up to the top of the peak is 20,618 feet. And that's the process that we would go through to find that. Okay, there you go.